All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is going on? All right, we are here. All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, sound is clear and crispy. Good, good. Don't sound like I'm in witness protection. Well, welcome to All Real Truth with beatzillapdx official. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially. All right. So this is like I said, Our Real Truth. This podcast can be found on Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and a few other platforms as well. Um, let's see who we got in the house. Ayan Mayabe, Judah Queen, Queen Adia, and Silent Deep Productions. Welcome, 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 Shalom family. Yes, indeed. Let me see. I'll get this off of here right now. I'll remove that. Okay. So, as you can see on the screen, we have some things to talk about today. So let me get that off for y'all. That band off of there. So, as you can see, peace, peace, Nichelle Hardgrave. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So a few things I wanted to talk about. As you see here recently over this Bill Cosby being released from prison early, a lot of people are up in arms about it. And, you know, we knew that would be popular news because, of course, they love snubbing black folk. That's just a fact of the matter. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we got to be mindful of uh, how often we are used as targets of propaganda as black folk. Now, of course, Me Too originally started with Harvey Weinstein, but quickly morphed into the let's go get Bill Cosby, let's go get R. Kelly, and let's still throw some dirt on MJ, Michael Jackson, from the grave. So, with that being said, we have such a big propaganda machine that people don't really understand how agendas get pushed. And one of the big ways is that we grew up in the era of BET, and we grew up in the era of when Bob Johnson actually owned it. He was the founder of BET, and he has since sold his interest to the Viacom Corporation, very powerful business and entity. If you don't know who they are the people who also own CBS. Actually, truth be told, the companies that own NBC and also CBS are owned under the same parent company. So you're getting programming, targeted programming. So when you have, let's say, all of the major power radio stations in line with all of the major cable networks, also in line with the major networks, that is a solid line of defense to defend their whatever agenda they want to push. So they have a solid method of control. It's just something to be aware of. Now, what you need to ask yourself as well is why would they want our stuff so much? Well, that is, they want to be able to set the narrative. And if you have noticed, ever since these people have owned BET, the narrative coming out to black folks is completely different than what it was before. There was a time when BET pretty much promoted heterosexuality, whether it be in a positive light or in a ratchet light. Right now, you only have ratchet. You don't really have positive. You had the verses, which, those are old school love songs. So just look at a verses between Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat. You have a whole era of love music which a lot of children were conceived to now the music that those kids are making is all about taking drugs and killing each other. What changed? Well, let's see. The ownership of the music and the content, that's what changed. So when you have situations like this, for those of you who are watching, this is streaming live on YouTube. So right there that you see on the screen, those are the owners of BET. Rothstein or Redstone family, the white so-called U's who now own BET. Owners. Why do they want to own our content and how we are being portrayed to each other? Well, I think the answer is pretty clear. If you own our image and then promote our image back to us, just like as you're just basically using black folks as puppets to promote whatever you want us to do. That's a crafty thing to do. Look at the Black Channel News, Black News Channel, whatever network that Mark Lamont Hill is on. That network is one that was owned by another white man until not too long ago, another Jewish man. You have to understand, they know the points of attack. So when I told you all yesterday on my live broadcast about identifying the weaknesses, and emotion, being able to play on emotion, if you have emotion, you can actually get to mob rule and mob justice in some kind of fashion. However, that doesn't apply to the court. That doesn't apply to the court of law. Now, you're hearing a lot of things said over and over and over and over and over again, which is just ridiculous. But that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? That is completely the nature of the beast. So, of course, people have came out. Felicia Rashad, who has always been down with Bill from the get-go, and understand it is really about attacking the legacy of Bill Cosby, number one, but also the effect that the Cosby Show had. See, there's still one lasting effect about that. There was a positive image of a black family. That's the image that they absolutely have went away from promoting since. I mean, you had Family Matters. You had some of these other shows, but I mean, then they started getting a little janky in the casting. You know what I mean? So then the fathers don't really have that overly manly quality anymore. Then they just started taking them all out all the way, which, we knew was coming. That's how they wanted to start the black family on television in the first place. If y'all remember, Esther Roll refused to do Good Times unless they gave her a husband. So she wasn't going to do that, just to go in there and represent the single moms. That wasn't what she was down with. You know what I mean? As well as she shouldn't be, because that's just whack. But understand, even then, the little messages, the subtle messages that they would want to put into Good Times, like having the idea that you're supposed to be downtrodden, you're supposed to be poor. This is just who you are. This is what you're made for. You know what I mean? If the God wanted to have us some money, he would see. So, I mean, everything that you could do to come up was being shot down. Then also, there was not really a positive black male figure on that show either. Once they had Michael grow up, then he started being a second version of JJ. You know what I mean? So these are the things that they want you to kind of get caught up in, which we absolutely should not. So, just to be mindful of it. But I wanted to get into the interview between Judge Joe Brown and and one Mark Lamont Hill. But first, before I do, I want to say Kwame was right. Okay, so let's just look at the go along, get along gang here. Are you looking at the screen? Now, this brother Stephen A. Smith, look at the tweet if you can see it. It might be too small. I'm not sure what you're looking at it on. But it literally says, I wake up every morning with two thoughts. Number one, how do I make my bosses more money? And number two, how do I get some of it? And he said that on TV before, proudly. You know, I just don't understand how that's like Jesse Lee Peterson type talk right there. That's all the way plantation. You know what I'm saying? Like, good Lord, dude. Oh boy. But nonetheless, like Kwame Brown was talking about how they have their little people who they protect. Think of the smoke that Felicia Rashad is getting right now. Do you see they heard of the whole they know that Charlemagne the God got some funny style charges on him now, lesser charges. They didn't have there was no smoke. Did you notice that? There was no smoke. And you know, you would have thought that they would have took their opportunity to go roast another black man. How did Charlemagne get out of that unscathed? You know, because what did Tarana Burke say? It's not her job to go after white men. So meaning that her job would be to go after black men. Yet, knowing that Charlemagne got these funny charges, there is no push to cancel him. But now, all of a sudden, in the midst of all of this, it has now became cool to cancel black women. How did we get here? Well, I'll tell you how. Because too many people have been caught up on emotion. And because when emotion rules, then the fools drool. You're like slobbering idiots. Because everything they already control you because they know what triggers you. So if this will trigger, then again, it's like rat mazing. Like I said, they're just throwing firecrackers at your feet. Every time you get towards the entrance of one side, they throw a firecracker to get you start running the other way. And just that goes and continues until you're done. However, you could think critically and start looking at, well, why isn't this person getting the same treatment? Look at the situation. Well, his victims, well, shoot, this dude had a victim. No smoke for Charlemagne the God at all. Yeah, because he's part of that go along, get along gang. And that's what they do. And, you know, so they got handlers. They got people that they have to answer to, I guess you could say, more or less. But at the end of the day, they are not for black folks. And they are definitely not for foundational black Americans. Stephen A. Smith is not even a foundational black American. So, you know, and neither is Tarana Burke for that matter. Now just look at the screen. Also, you see Tarana Burke. She has nothing to say about Charlemagne. But yet the day that they released Bill Cosby, she's on TV. I mean, think about that. She's literally on TV. They release him, and by the evening, they already had her propped up and ready. But truth be told, I mean, with all the stuff that has been going on, that she probably could have said things about, you've seen how she was quiet. And like I say, you see the go along, get along gang. She's part of it. She's a puppet. You see Gail and Oprah, they're puppets. Because look at that picture right there. All them pictures, they all hugged up with Harvey Weinstein and whatnot. And, you know, somebody just came on my Twitter talking about, oh, well, you guys are like defending whole rapists now, right? I said, oh, like this? Yeah, go give Oprah the smoke. She's kissing this man. You think she didn't know? How about that? But one thing you have to understand when you see people going off code and off script, there's usually a reason, you know. So this whole thing is about they really it is somewhat of a money grab for Bill Cosby, and right now, shoot, I hope he go take it to their pockets. I really do. But let me get to this. This is a good interview, so I wanted to go through a few points in this interview, and we'll break this down. So,
Joe Brown, Judge, thank you for joining me. Why do you say that mainstream media encourages mob rule?
I've talked to 43 lawyers around the country, 17 judges, and I haven't found one that was shocked by the verdict. Most saw the same thing that I did from day one. This never should have gone to trial. It's a travesty. It's a violation of due process and American law. It is part of this mess that mainstream media is trying to feed into the heads of the citizenry and poison them by saying that their emotions and their feelings are supposed to have paramountcy over what happens within the law. That's not the way it goes. I get people.
did you catch that part? And that's what people are trying to do. That's why they keep throwing that lie out there. Well, he admitted it. 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 Giving pills or popping. I mean, how many people were popping mollies and popping ecstasies? They doing what they do, and then they getting it on. I mean, that's especially in the Hollywood entertainment side of the game. It is not the normal. It's not the norm at all. So these are people who know what go on behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying. Thinking behind the veil, because the people who are involved with this, these people seen all kind of shit. So the fact that you guys think Bill Cosby is the worst there is, that's amazing to me. And talk about serial rapist. No, he's been serially accused. He's a serial. He's the victim of always being accused. But if you can't prove it, and he only went to court for one person. And this is a person to whom they had a relationship. So I don't understand how now it becomes rape. But something Tarana Burke said on the news, and I hope Bill Cosby caught that and he sues that woman, because she actually said he raped somebody. And that allegation is not proven. And she said that on TV.
People who never even took what they should have gotten in the 4th and 5th grade get to talking about how somebody going to disprove what these women accused Dr. Cosby of. And the truth of the matter is you don't have to. They have to prove that what they claim is true, not the other way around. That's American law. I see too much of this show up on the courthouse, voice your opinion, and get the courts to yield to what you believe. That's not the way the law works. That's called mob rule, mob justice. And if you want a more egregious exemplar, take what happened to Emmett Till and every other black man that's been lynched in the history of this country because somebody got emotional and decided to suborn the law, go around it, and do what their emotions drove them to do.
Now, that's a great correlation that he made there. See, that's why we have to be careful about what we jump on. And truth be told, we never need to be jumping on our own in public. Not like that. Not like what I've seen. What I've seen is so way off code. It's like, who raised y'all? Don't y'all know not to talk in front of company? Like, y'all don't know that? And doing things in public that probably should be done in private. That's the part of checking off code energy. We'll get to that.
So that is the way things ought to be. Law separates us from the animals, and we can't have this disregard of the law. I want to commend this Howard Dean for being forthright enough to speak out on what the reality is, and I would suggest that they need to strengthen the breadth requirements at Howard University so I don't see such ignorance coming out of this profoundly historic black university. My father went there way back in the 40s.
Well, Judge, there's two things going on at once, though, Judge.
That I have heard come out of that place. lately. And if
So, Judge, I
anybody
think
ought to
there's two things
understand
happening at
moral
once.
justice, they ought to.
So, Judge, I think there's two things happening at once here. And I think, on the one hand, many of us are legitimately aware, and myself included, that the criminal legal system doesn't give equal outcomes to everybody, that black folk catch the worst end of this, that black men, when it comes to incarceration, get the absolute worst end of this. And the Bill Cosby case is an example of a prosecutor who was dishonest. Bill Cosby, absolutely, if he's told that you won't be prosecuted for giving this deposition and then he gets prosecuted, that is a violation of his rights, and that is a violation.
Hey, FBA goddess, welcome. Grand evening. Now, do you hear what he's saying? Now, this is what's really off code here. This dude is literally kind of downplaying a crooked DA to still make Bill Cosby out to be the villain. How off code can you get?
Violation of due
Of
process.
course it is.
On the
Violation
other
of
hand,
due process.
but on the right, but hold on, let me finish this point, Judge.
On going forward should be disciplined.
Absolutely.
So there's that, but then there's the other question that people. So then there's this other question that people, though, have, Judge, which is a legal question. I mean, which is not a legal question. I think those two things, to some extent, are getting mixed up. And the non-legal question is about whether or not Bill Cosby actually did harm. Legally, you can say he's not guilty because the not guilty stands.
He didn't do anything. American law, there is an absolute presumption of innocence until you are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, using due process of law. If there was no due process of law, that presumption of innocence does not remove itself, and there is no valid conviction. If there is no valid conviction, that presumption of innocence stands as a rock for the defendant. It is to keep the government from acting in a dishonest fashion and using its powers for persecution. So Dr. Cosby
so I think we're on the same page with that.
Found guilty through due process. He hasn't done anything. So under American law, the accusations are just that. They carry no weight other than accusations, and they must be proven using due process beyond a reasonable doubt. If they have not been, then they are essentially worthless, just so much talk.
Woo! And with that being said, again, these are the things that people need to start paying attention to. Now, the whole idea of how you identify, like a Rachel Dolezal, or this new dude, the white dude that wanted to look like the Korean, he now identifies as a Korean. Okay, when you start getting into that, you open so many doors, and what the door that was being opened is trying to get itself into law. And I was trying to warn people about this so many times ago. You can't be emotional. You have to understand what the long game is. This is the long ball for them. They're not playing. These people ain't playing. What you think all them plastic caskets down there in Georgia's for? They're not playing games, folks. So y'all better, pay a little more attention and understand that these people are done. Just look at the hypocrisy that they'll let go. You got Oprah over here. Nobody went hard with Harvey Weinstein. They put money to go throw dirt on Michael Jackson. They made sure to do a two-parter series of a whole week to make sure they buried R. Kelly in the court of public opinion. See, that's what it is. You throw the accusations out there and just bombardments. It's bombardment politics. But you try to get that into law. So where people are upset right now is because you're believing what you're continuously being told. But when you go into the court, you don't have that luxury. The court ain't fooling with you like that. Yeah, bet that. No, they go into the letter of the law, and that's what you have to understand. And that's where so many people are upset. But truth be told, black folks, with this one, take the win. You know, you still looking for a way to lose, and I don't understand that. Oh man, it's horrible. Why are you so mad at Bill Cosby? And definitely, why are you mad at Felicia Rashad? She has been down with him, never changed her position. She didn't switch up. And now we see she didn't bitch up. So, I mean, shoes, which is more than I could say for plenty of y'all that have so much to say about this woman. How did we go back to cancel culture by way of wanting to cancel one of the prominent black sisters of our time in television? If you don't see that as they want to destroy a legacy, then you are blind. Get out of your emotions and see the truth for what it is. This is to destroy a positive image of black life. To go back to, oh God, I'm gonna take some pills, I'm gonna drink this lean. Man, inebriated 24/7, and then have sex with as many females as I can unprotected. And a few dudes too. I mean, this is what's happening. And you're pushing a lifestyle of destruction. Sorry for that, whoever that offends. But that is the agenda of the powers that be. Now, as for me, you know, I'm an agent of the Most High. So I'm going to operate in that like manner. If you are the agent of someone else, then you probably will be offended by what I say, because what I say is the truth. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm not your judge. But I could judge what I see. And I could judge what people do. With that being said, you know, always be mindful that when you try to come at people, like we're seeing right now, everybody's so upset at other black folks literally so upset at other black folks over a bunch of white women. Y'all hate yourself that much? Y'all got, I mean, that's outrageous. But you know, again, was a post-traumatic slave response. You know, and that's how you're responding, with an emotional attachment to something that you probably shouldn't. So, you know, unfortunately, so many people think with emotions and throw critical thinking to the wind, and then start asking questions about, why is all this death around me? What's going on in Chicago? Do you see the black officials in Chicago? The one brother, Tyrone Muhammad, all of a sudden they could find him to run him into court. See, they're working against unity. Don't ever kid yourself like, oh man, so many people out here want to kill. No, them folks in Chicago don't give a damn about them people. And when the brothers out there trying to stay legal, just like Otham, who is, they got a page for him right now, because that brother was already down. I mean, they knew that this was one of them Second Amendment. Basically, they wanted to go after a black militia individual. And this brother, I believe he's actually Haitian. I don't even think he's foundational Black American, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter, because he is on point and down with the cause. And see, that's all that really matters. And so people, oh, well, you know, he ain't, no, we're not going to do that here. No, we still hold it down for people who are B1. So, again, if that's what you are, B1, and that's how we roll here. Not everybody can adjust to that. We be having digital tantrums, you know, but it is what it is.
Kill their neighbors, rape their neighbors, sold poison to their neighbors. And the other thing is, it's not guns. It's not any excuse. It's we have got a lack of manhood and masculinity in our neighborhoods. See, masculinity is the imposition of a set of behavioral standards on a boy. So when the boy grows into a man, he has some things he has to do that he cannot get away with, that he is compelled to look to, making where he lives a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics. He is a man of public peace, dignity, and order, who is a man of peace, who can be a brave and courageous man when necessary. See, we have to start
Judge,
taking
let me
our
pause you for a
neighborhoods
minute.
back.
We're going to take a Judge. I want to hear more about that, Judge. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and bring it right back. I'm going to push you on some of those things as well. Stay with me. We got more Black News Tonight.
No, he is. Yeah, let me get to that. So, I mean, what y'all think about that so far? You see where this dude, he's really trying to push an agenda heavy, which, again, the go along, get along gang, because none of these people went after Charlemagne. How's Charlemagne with lesser charges? Mr. Lesser Charges himself. I mean, y'all can see his paperwork's dirty. He ain't even claiming innocence. There's a big difference between him and Bill Cosby. He's not even claiming innocence. And, just like the video I played, to turn it off with all the little white girls crying, that sinister madness, that Carolyn Bryant energy, that people all of a sudden, when it comes to a black man, just conveniently leave that out of their minds. Believe all women. If you gonna say that until it's your child. And just think, you could be in a situation to where you know where your child was at, but there's enough women to lie on him that they'll still take his ass to jail anyway. Would that convince you? Would you want to really wait till then? Good Lord. For a person to defend themselves and defend their image is not hatred of anyone else. It's a defense mechanism. I don't want you to put me in any type of position that could possibly put me and my family in harm's way. And if your choices and your decisions are a little on the reckless side, then you're going to have to do that somewhere else. Because I can't deal with that. And we can't deal with that as a group because that's a detriment. You understand? That's a detriment to everybody's safety. That's what you talk about, a bad apple. And that bad apple may not necessarily be ruining the rest of the bunch unknowingly, but purposely seeking to dismantle. Because that's some people are just built for that. But I mean, nature always will show itself. So there's that. And let's go back on to what a butter biscuit tiptoeing Sambo sounds like. And this is the nature of that type of situation. Because this brother now is working very, very, very hard to argue law with a judge. And then wants the judge to start talking about something based on public opinion. He's a legal man. So what matters here is the law. And then he just got off. Okay. Something that never should have ever entered into his trial. Say what you will, but that's wrong. Well, yeah, it's wrong, but that doesn't mean he's innocent. That doesn't mean I got to go down kicking dirt on an 83-year-old black man that's done put plenty of people in college. Don't tell me about his victims. Tell me about the ones he helped. But, understand, this is how the media works. And everybody who's doing that, there's some that are doing it unknowingly, but there are a lot that are doing it purposely because they have their agenda that is actually anti-black, anti-reparations 100%, like Dane Calloway. So I'll continue.
The various women he had sex with giving them alcohol and pills, whether it's Quaaludes or Benadryl. If you look at the dozens of women who come forward and accuse him, is there room to say, look, Bill Cosby can come home because the prosecutor was wrong, but Bill Cosby also has to be accountable for what he represents and for acts of and for predator-like behavior?
What about these women being accountable for their own behavior? They were groupies.
Well,
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rap, sex, drugs, baseball, football, basketball, movies, television. See,
yeah,
it's
but
called
right now
being a
I'm talking about Bill
groupie.
Cosby. I'm saying,
We forgot what that term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. The bimbos come to the party, they hang out, they get drunk, they snort lines of blow, and they have a good time. They use the hall closets to give head, the bathrooms to get down, and you go in to get your coat off of the bed, and they're laying on top of it doing somebody. See,
Oh
that's what
Lord.
that's about.
yeah,
So, I
but
mean, let's
Judge,
not
it
get
has to be it has to be
sanctimonious
consensual
25,
though.
30, 40, 50 years after something was in big time style. When this stuff started out, the sexual revolution was going on. And a
Mm.
lot of women
Well,
got
so there's
into it deeply.
okay, but so
So,
there's
I
two things you
mean,
raised.
the
But
point
first,
is,
no, but
yes,
first
it's
we didn't, let's talk
horrible
about
when
Bill
a
Cosby.
woman is
We can talk
done
about the
wrong.
women, but let's talk about Bill Cosby.
Uh-oh. See, I don't know why he even had Joe Brown on his show. He was never going to be able to sidestep the masculinity conversation or the responsibility conversation. And that when you have with the whole Me Too thing is a sidestep responsibility. We fully are aware of the atrocities against our women. That's no secret, but to say that, well, I mean, again, what am I saying? This isn't about our women. This is about theirs. Jeez. And I mean, so understand what we're seeing here. This is about protecting the sanctity of white women. Oh, those ferocious Negro beasts. Oh, those big lip monkeys just want our women, and all they will do is do anything they can to get our women. Y'all better know what this is about. This is some birth of a nation type stuff going on right here. That's what this is in reality. So this is like Birth of a Nation 2.0. And I don't mean Nate Parker's movie. I mean the old school where the Klan rides again. See this, because again, what are we talking about here? We have the big bad black man who can't see. So we have the big old bad black man. Let's see, what else do we have? Oops, we have all of these white women who said that he raped them. What else? Let's see. Oh, now we have the propaganda machine. Remember in some of my previous broadcasts, and I was showing you how they were setting up the propaganda in the news. Well, we got that now. That was the same thing they were doing right before they went and blew Tulsa up. They did the exact same thing. Same thing in Rosewood as well. So they didn't just, oh, this has happened. No, there was a whole campaign to go burn them folks' towns down and commit mass genocide on American citizens. But y'all up here crying for these women who most have been proven liars. How silly are y'all? Y'all really want to go back on the plantation. Well, I guess just by the sheer numbers of we've seen all of these people just go running doing stupid crap. Well, we can see how easily you guys want to be branded again. So be it. Not for me, though.
Let's talk about Bill Cosby for a second, because that's the person we're talking about. My
What did
question
he
was:
do?
is there room to what did he do? Well, according to the deposition, he gave women pills, and in one deposition, he specifically said
pills.
he didn't know whether.
Force it down their
No,
throat,
let me
and
finish.
he didn't take advantage of them.
Well,
Look at that interview Whoopi Goldberg did with that model Johnson. Whoopi got all on. Said, wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that when
Judge, let me
he
ask the
found
question.
out you were high, he called a cab, took the elevator down with you, put you in the cab, paid your fare, tipped the man, and sent you home because you were high? So what did he do to
So
you?
in one deposition, so Judge, in one deposition specifically, when he was asked the question, was he sure that the woman was sober enough to consent? He said, "I don't know." But there's a bigger question here: is if someone willingly takes pills and becomes high and drunk, can they legally consent?
Sometimes you can. Used to be you could. They had a change in there back 25 years ago when they were saying, no, you can't. But before that, basically, you could. That's why they told
Right.
you,
So, but we're talking
stay
about the law.
sober.
So, so, so then, Judge, again,
See,
since you're
the
saying we should appeal
standard
to the
used to
law,
be
if the
if it
law
was
says that you
involuntary
can't be
intoxication, where you did something to them they didn't consent to.
Right.
See, that's when
right,
that law started changing from you got yourself drunk, you're responsible to know the bartender's responsible because he lets you get drunk. That's when that
Judge
change started coming
Bill
about.
Cosby's admitting, Bill Cosby's admitting to giving women alcohol and pills for the purpose of having sex, and if by the law you
Most
can't
women I know
consent if
go
you're
drink a
drunk or
glass of wine
or
when you go
high.
out to dinner or you have a party or something. So
Yeah,
does
but
that
that's
make
not the same.
them
That's
taken
irrelevant,
advantage
Judge.
of because they do something they would have done anyway? A whole lot of them I knew
Yes,
back in the years would
that's
take
sexual
drugs,
assault, Judge.
particularly Quaaludes. They did that a lot. I had a lot of female clients I had to get out of messes because they had a fondness for Quaaludes. It's not
Yeah,
cool,
but
but
it's
Oh, okay. Now, do y'all understand what he is trying to do? He is going out of his way to get back to how can we throw dirt on Bill Cosby? Because what they need to do now is be able to get in front of the lawsuits that Bill Cosby can file. You understand that? So the powers that be are doing that. And remember, there's land that they want of his. They one of the other DAs and the other Quaaludes, right? One of the DAs actually hit him up with a $2,500 fine for not cutting his lawn while he's in prison. So these are the things. It's absolutely malicious. So to sit up here as black folks and be on board with watching black folks be done that way, you're sick. That's all I could tell you. You are sick. And I mean, man, good grief. And recently we've had y'all seen what again Felicia Rashad had to say, but you also saw old dark-skinned Aunt Viv's tweet. Let's see what's we'll share here. Oh, okay. I gotta share the screen. So old Aunt Viv had something to say, and people got on her top because it's like, well, hold on. You're talking out of your side of your neck with no proof. Look at that picture. Ain't that interesting? Okay, let's
Having
play
a
this.
comeback. Well, I ain't having no comeback because I ain't been nowhere to be coming back from nowhere. Those of you who come into my box and saying things like, you having a comeback. Well, I ain't having no comeback because I ain't been nowhere to be coming back from nowhere. And as far as somebody saying, you got your career back and let's cancel you again, child, please. You can't get me back 27 years. So you have the right to your opinion, and I have the right to mine. So let's keep it like that. All right. Mr. Cosby should have been the person to make the statement and apologize to the people that he hurt. That would have been a wonderful thing to do if you got out of prison on a get out of jail pass. That's all I got to say. Those of you who come into my box and saying things like,
Oh, okay.
you having a
Let me
comeback.
remove that. Okay. Now, as you see, she's salty. Um, but and again, when you hear those things, hear people out there talking like that. I know 5 people personally. Okay, well, where are they at? They didn't feel like chiming in now. I mean, it's funny that they didn't come forward when everybody else was so happy to throw dirt on the man. Interesting. So, I find it funny, but then also say, well, where have I been? And she double spoke because, well, I ain't went nowhere. Well, y'all can't give me back 27 years. Well, either you've been here or you haven't been, lady. Jeez. So, again, what y'all think about that? That is that's one of those to me that I just see it like, damn, you probably could, at least maybe just stay out of it. Because again, 27 years she did it to herself. Obviously, it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe is this one of those reasons why I ain't messing with you? It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, man, it does definitely make you wonder. Like, maybe this is why they ain't really messing with you, because you have those tendencies. Now, like I said, this is the part of checking off code behavior. We got to understand something here. We don't have the ability to operate like idiots. We can't afford that. So one thing to be certain of is you always have to be tight in your mind about what's going on. Now, with the checking part, if y'all follow me on Instagram, then y'all seen a like what I called earlier a digital tantrum. And again, for me, y'all know that I speak about the agenda against us. You know what I'm saying? And the agendas against us are very real. Um, Somebody had an issue with, I guess, me pointing out that agenda. And again, there's two agendas that I pointed, which are kind of hand in hand. So one being the Satan agenda, which I told y'all about. I've done a broadcast on that, right? So that was, I think that also might be part of their dilemma. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But one thing I won't ever do is I won't find myself dealing with, let's see, let me get that. Okay, so I won't ever find myself dealing with fake people. And what I mean by fake, I mean the type of people that when something goes wrong and they feel that something ain't right, the very first thing they do is start talking publicly about their issues. And, for this particular person, it's not like they didn't have my information. So, I mean, you got my number, anything, you could have messaged me. None of that took place, unfortunately. And, it is what it is. For those of y'all who saw that, Lord. Oh, good Lord. Hey, it is what it is. My thing is this. There's proper protocols in how you carry yourself and how you deal with, I guess, your own issues. But if we're all grown, especially men, and we're all adults, I need people to carry themselves that way. And if you have a problem with what I'm saying, that's fine. But the one thing that you have to understand when I talk about my personal space, no one has the right to tell me anything. If I tell you this is what I want in my space, that's my right. And anything else is an energy of toxicity. And more or less, rape culture. Forcing something on someone that they don't want in their space. I don't give a damn if you don't like it. I got a wife and kids. What do I care about what you're feeling? You have to worry about you. But how much of an over-the-top narcissist can you possibly be to think that I should give a crap about what you feel when I'm saying what I'm saying that's the truth? That means you don't like the truth. Call that phony. I'm not speaking for clout. I mean, hell, I've been around for a minute, y'all. I mean, but in this lane right now, especially on this platform, I'm trying to make sure that I'm as inclusive as I can be. One thing I don't give a crap about how you get down on your own. But if you have a problem that I'm straight, then that's an issue for yourself. But please don't turn into scorn lovers because that just looks crazy. That's what that looked like. That looked like scorn lover talk. Oh, man. What do they call that? Heterophobia? Jesus. So, checking this off code energy. Everybody, you got so much smoke to come for one another for the most littlest thing. You know what I mean? The smallest thing. And for the most part, if anybody who's read that, no one can even make out what the hell they were mad at. So, maybe there's something that I'm unaware of going on there. But I will say this. Anybody who is willing to go do the type of stuff that person did is a dangerous type of individual because that person's liable to do anything. And when I see these random blow ups and then people get out there and start talking to police and things like that, who raised y'all? Where y'all from? I mean, I don't understand that. Oh, yeah, that's all. Y'all remember that old Chris Rock skit? He got weed. He got weed. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. First thing you do when you get mad at somebody when start telling their secrets. Don't be that person. I ain't got no secrets to tell, so it's just looking random as hell because people are like, what's going on? But all these other people who are upset, like checking everybody who's trying to get on Felicia Rashad. You need to take this down their throat. And this notion right here. Why is it okay to now cancel a black woman? Why is everybody on board with that? Because, okay, and somebody might get mad about what I'm about to say. But if you feel it is okay for a woman to go have an abortion, then how the hell can't she feel any kind of positive manner if she feels he's being railroaded? She honestly felt that way. Now, her being in her position, you don't think she knows? Sideline sitters, they act like they're scholars. Don't know nothing. And then they're always the first ones to tell you, when you're speaking from your own experience, the first one to tell you, well, you going up with the white man told you. You ignorant nincompoop. No, dum-dum. Do I say, what white man's talking like me? Where he at? Where? Find him, please. Because I got so much of my information from the white man. And to that, I'm going to tell you, shut your ass up. So anyway, this has been Thinking Beyond the Veil and checking off code energy. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Be ready when you come for me. And something that a comedian said, never, ever test the one with the mic. Because, I mean, hey, I could go hard. I could go heavy. So, I mean, and this is ultra lightweight. Don't ever do that to me again. Because, I look at it like this. I don't go out of my way to bother any damn body. So why would you go out of your way to do that to me? And if you feel some kind of way, cool. If you feel like you need to voice it. But the one thing about it is, if what I feel does not have any effect on how you live, how you eat, how you sleep, how you drink, how you make your money, how you smoke. If I'm not affecting any of that, then what the hell are you mad at? You need to ask yourself that question. And, as I've had to, deal with this little situation again, I'm not this for me. Hey, man, if you want forgiveness, take that to Jesus, because it's going to take some man type movement to even talk to me. And yes, we could probably resolve that. But are we ever going to be in the same place again? No, sir. No, sir. Take it to the Lord in prayer, Blair. Because we're done here. I don't mess with rats. And you're out there putting people trying to talk public, that's rat shit. So if you don't like it, to hell with you. I'll leave it like that. I mean, because again, for y'all who actually talk to me on a regular basis, y'all know how I get down. This person got my number. But it was the energy they wanted to stir up so people could see it publicly. Because, I'm so against homosexuals that he's been on my program and got my number. Well, whatever. Oh, Lord. And thank y'all again for hanging out with me today. I just needed to address that. And I wanted to get to the part to where just notice again the go along, get along gang here. Mark Lamont Hill, Stephen A. Smith, Charlemagne. Yes, Kwame was right. Tarana Burke, Gail King, and Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, before we go, let me just show you this picture one more time just so we can keep it in the mind, See, look at that. There's she kissing Harvey Weinstein, right? All right. Now also look at this. Look at Aunt Viv and her husband. Yep. Usually a zaddy around when people start talking crazy. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to get on out of here. Oh, Lord. So, again, this is Our Real Truth with beatzillapdx Official. You can find this podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes. And as well, you can follow me on Instagram at beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Twitter, beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Facebook, beatzillapdx. And on Melanated People, you can find me at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And then also on Patreon, you can also find me at beatzillapdx Official. So I want to go ahead and get on in that. And also today at 4 o'clock, make sure you tune in to Queen Armadiah's channel. She is going to be having one of my good sisters on. Matter of fact, I'm waiting on a call back from her right now. Sister Tina Berry, so it's going to be a real good high energy show, I'm sure. So you guys definitely want to tune into that. So with that being said, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. If you have any questions, email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can do so by donation at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. That's CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And with that being said, y'all, let me go ahead and just go ahead and groove on out here. Is that all right with y'all? This ain't my music, by the way, but so you know. Shalom, y'all.